Welcome to Big Ten Saturday Night, presented by Discover. The final unbeaten team in the country, #1 Oregon, hosting Washington in a renewed rivalry once again. 117th meeting between these two as we look at the Big Ten standings. It's rivalry week and crazy things happen. We already saw that Ohio State's second conference loss has knocked them out of the Big Ten championship game. It'll be Penn State and this Oregon squad next week in Indianapolis as we welcome you to Autzen Stadium. Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, Catherine Tappan, and Terry McCauley. Glad to have you along for the ride. Look, rivalries create weird moments. I think we saw it earlier today.
Yeah, I tell you what, and I'll guarantee you both head coaches in this game pointed to that game of what happened in Columbus. Dan Lanning saying, look, everybody expects us to win, right? We got to bring our A game. We cannot take this team lightly at all. Jedd Fisch, on the other hand, says anything can happen. We got to play loose, play free, be aggressive. He told us he's going to throw the kitchen sink at him tonight.
So for Washington, kitchen sink could include players that maybe we haven't seen as much as others coming into the year. Will Rogers has started every game at quarterback for this Huskies team, but today it's not going to be exactly the same. Demond Williams Jr., who's considered the future of this program according to Jedd Fisch, will start his first game at quarterback.
Yeah, he's a talented athlete. When we talked to Dan Lanning and defensive coordinator Toss LaPoy, the first thing they said about him is the kid can fly. They know how fast he is. He's got arm talent. They've got skill guys around him and kind of a salty defense, particularly against the pass. No big deal. Freshman quarterback, your first start of your career on the road in Autzen Stadium against the #1 team in the country.
It is maybe the loudest stadium in the entire country. And when this team comes out, senior night in front of them, they just honored a number of high-impact players for this group. This place is going to erupt. Here come the Ducks. Looking for their first win over Washington in the Dan Lanning era. Looking to keep this perfect season alive would be just their second regular season unbeaten finish in program history. And they'll have to go through that man, the true freshman on the other side, as the Huskies take the field. So Coach Lanning looking for redemption and standing by with Catherine Tappan.
Coach, this is an intense border rivalry with a lot of history and passion. How do you make sure your guys maintain their composure and execute the way you want them to?
Yeah, play the game, not the occasion, right? This is what college football is all about. I'm really excited to see what our guys do tonight.
Washington will make a change at quarterback. Freshman Demond Williams will get his first career start. What are the keys to containing him?
Hey, stop them, right? It's really simple, but you do that by doing what we do. We play an aggressive style of football around here. We're excited to see what it looks like on the field.
Coach, thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Noah?
Coach Lanning's message was simple coming into the week. It is not about emotion. It is about execution against this team. The teams that beat them by 3 points the last 3 meetings. It is a rivalry in the Pacific Northwest. Next on NBC.
4th and half a yard. And he slipped. Whittington slipped in the backfield and went down. The Huskies have the ball. And they have escaped with a 37-34 victory. He missed it! I don't believe it! Washington 36, Oregon 33 in a classic. Celebration in the Washington go down to our left. Wish that was us.
Heard a lot from the great voice of the Ducks, Jerry Allen, and now with the 117th all-time meeting, 4th most played between Big Ten teams. Washington leads that series, but most importantly has won the last 3 meetings by 3 points in each game. And Jedd Fisch, in his first matchup against Oregon as the Washington head coach, said he's excited. This is what college football is all about. He knows that there's hatred, but similarly, he actually wants his team to play with that emotion, harness that emotion ahead of this one.
Yeah, and a big thing for his team is going to be to take care of the ball and withstand the early flurry of this football stadium and crowd.
Washington won the toss, elected to defer, and a decent return across the 25. That's where this Oregon offense is going to start. A look at the starting lineups delivered by Papa John's. And Dillon Gabriel has led one of the most lethal attacks in the country.
Well, and it's an offense that their last time out was not on the top of their game in Madison, Wisconsin. They've had a week off. They want to come out and play their best football tonight. Evan Stewart has really emerged as a big play wide receiver. We do expect to see their leading receiver, Tez Johnson, back in the lineup today. But Evan Stewart has been outstanding ever since that Ohio State game in week 6.
That was his breakout. You see 15 in motion. That is Tez Johnson making his return after missing the last few. But instead it's a run, and that's generally a good idea when you've got Jordan James as he sails out of bounds, gains 4 on first down. He's got over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns on the season. It helps when you've got a veteran leader like this at quarterback.
Veteran, yeah, he's making his 61st career start tonight, and he's having a marvelous year. Almost 74% completion. He's a dual threat guy and a distributor of the football, like a point guard in basketball. Gets the ball in the hands of his playmakers quickly.
That 61st start ties his predecessor for the overall record in FBS history as James stumbles forward and has enough for the first down. It is Bo Nix who had 61. Now it's Gabriel who has 61. And that system has clearly worked the last 2 years, but that's not necessarily sustainable long-term for the future at the quarterback position.
Yeah, they've got a youngster behind him who transferred in from UCLA, Dante Moore, who would be the next guy in line.
First pass of the day for Gabriel, and he checks it down for James. He'll get across the 45, close to midfield. Against this Washington defense, that tackle there by Cameron Fabiculanan. And you look at the starting lineups for Washington defensively, they're great against the pass.
Yeah, they're excellent against the pass. Their corners have played really well. They've struggled against some teams in this league in the run game.
And right on cue, it's James with another gash inside the 40.
Jordan James is a 1,000-yard rusher. This offensive line, one of the Joe Moore Award-winning groups, and that's a nice play. Just pulled the backside guard. And Jordan James with a head of steam before there's any white shirts around him.
Entering the week 4th in the conference in rushing yards. The 11 touchdowns leads the team. They've run 4 plays. It's been 4 touches for James. 3 carries in the catch that went for 8. Ferguson, the tight end, always dangerous in motion. Now it's Holden moving along. Play action pass, set up the screen. Ferguson with a flag down as he gets walloped by Bruner.
Both of these teams love to utilize the screen game.
We'll hear from Jerry McGinn, our referee tonight.
Legal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
2 guys moving at the same time. And that was one of the problems in Madison when we talked to Will Stein, offensive coordinator, say we didn't play real clean. You know, we had some operational things, some penalties. We had a lot of plays where we off schedule. And that was the first play now in this drive that has set them back a little bit.
Both Will Stein and Dillon Gabriel mentioned communication being somewhat of an issue 2 weeks ago. Had the bye week to try to fix some of it. Now 1st and 15, and Gabriel with another completion. It's going to go to Ferguson near the 30. So picks up 9 to make this 2nd down and 6. And they've gone quick this entire opening drive. Tempo after struggling to move the ball, especially in the second half in Madison 2 weeks ago, which resulted in a 16-13 victory. Gabriel over the middle. He's on target for Holden and a first down.
A really nice play action. Again, when you start off running the football the way they have, these RPO kind of plays open up. He just waits till that window opens, and Holden's coming on a little slant route in the accurate throw by the left-handed quarterback, Gabriel.
You saw the laces not on his fingertips again. Does not need it. That is a deceptively impressive skill from him. Holden in motion again on first down. Handoff up the middle. Jordan James, so difficult to bring down. We might see 2 of the top 5 running backs in this conference easily in this game.
Yeah, Jonah Coleman for Washington, and this guy Jordan James, both 1,000-yard rushers on the season.
Bruner with another tackle. Right back to James. Burst through, 1st and goal. Methodical opening drive here for Oregon.
Now this is where, when we talked to Steve Belichick, the defensive coordinator for Washington, he says we've got to play well in the red zone and not give up touchdowns every time they get down here. They've been pretty good at that. 54% opponents have scored touchdowns. They've given up yards, they've given up rushing yards, but they've been pretty stout when the ball gets in the red zone.
Whittington in the game, and he's got it on first down. Whittington through one tackle. Whittington stays on his feet. Touchdown, Oregon. 9 plays down the field, and the Ducks get right into the end zone.
Well, some power running football by the Ducks on this opening possession. This is power. They're being in the backside guard and tackle. One guy's going to kick out. The other guy's going to lead through, and Whittington is going to take it into the end zone. An impressive opening drive for the Ducks, primarily on the ground.
Funky formation initially. Now they'll shift back into their typical extra point look with Atticus Sappington, one of the names of the conference.
You love that name.
It's a great name. Because it's one thing to have the last name Sappington, but to have it paired with Atticus. So 71 yards down the field after Washington deferred, and Sappington makes it 7-0 for the #1 team in the country. It was Jordan James the entire drive. 5 carries for 40 yards, a catch for 8, and then Whittington comes in with his first touch and bangs his way into the end zone. Oregon 7-zip early here at Autzen.
Here we go, 1:05 remaining. First and goal from the 8-yard line. Ewer, you're going to go back to throw the ball. Sets up, looks, throws toward the corner of the end zone. It is intercepted! Intercepted! The Ducks have the ball! Down to the 35, the 40. Kenny Wheaton's going to score! Kenny Wheaton is going to score! Touchdown! Kenny Wheaton! The most improbable finish to a football game!
Some believe a turning point here in Eugene for this Ducks program. More greatness from Jerry Allen on the call, but 1994, the pick 6 from Kenny Wheaton, and since then it's been a lot of sunshine and rainbows for the Ducks. This one gets returned by Ngata across the 25.
Yeah, that 94 team ended up going to the Rose Bowl, lost to Penn State, and that's who they'll match up again with in Indianapolis here in the Big Ten Championship game.
Well, here is Damon Williams Jr. First career start for the true freshman. Jedd Fisch said his GPA and his 40 time are the same, 4.4.
Yeah, he's got really incredible feet. And one of the things about him playing tonight is against this aggressive Oregon defense, he has an elusiveness and ability to avoid negative plays and turn them into positive plays with his feet.
Dan Lanning is concerned with the elite running back, Jonah Coleman, the elite wide receivers in Giles Jackson and Denzel Boston. Believes they've got a lot of firepower to go along with this true freshman. They're going to let him throw on first down. He's going to load it up down the sideline. Separation, back shoulder. It is caught.
It's just a matter of did he keep his feet in. I mean, the ball was thrown to the back shoulder. First play of the game. Jedd Fisch says we're going to throw the kitchen sink. Catch. Did he have a foot in when he secured the ball? Jeremiah Hunter was the receiver. Washington quickly to the football.
Terry says it's a catch. Looked like the right foot grazed. They're going to get the play off anyway. It's a run up the middle, and Coleman's going to get engulfed after he gains 2.
Well, what an aggressive call. First play of the game. There's the catch. Does look like the foot is down when he has the football, then comes off the ground, and he maintained control all the way through. An aggressive call, the first play of the game, and right away Washington in Oregon territory.
What a start for Williams, who has played every game this year. Came in with 53 pass attempts. He's completing 74% of his throws. And he's 2 for 2 to start. It's Jackson on the catch, spin away, and inside the 35. It's a starting offense that has firepower, as mentioned. A look at the starting lineups presented and delivered by Papa John's.
Well, Damon Williams is getting the start, but the guy really is Jonah Coleman. I mean, he is an outstanding running back, over 1,000 yards, 793 yards after contact. He breaks more tackles than anybody in the Big Ten. And Dan Lanning said he's the most talented back that we've seen since Ashton Jeanty of Boise State in week 2.
High praise. Williams going to keep. There's that 4.4 speed across the edge, and a first down for Washington.
He has played, as you mentioned, in every game, and he's been a dual threat guy in every game. He's played most all of the second half, their last 2 ball games against Penn State and UCLA. And right away, you see the different edge that he gives this offense and that ability to run the football.
Will Rogers, first 5 games, just the 1 turnover, but the last 6, it's been a concern. And the one thing that Damon Williams, if you ask his teammates and his coaches, they say his confidence is not a concern. He comes in with a swagger. He's got great leadership skills in the huddle as well. Hands off to another true freshman, Adam Muhammad, and he's going to scamper forward for a first down carry. Gains 11.
See, the threat of the run. Now, they're going to run Muhammad this way, but watch these guys just get affected by the quarterback. You have to respect if the quarterback is going to hold the football, and that just slows guys down enough to allow Muhammad to get out on the perimeter and run for the first down.
Jedd Fisch called those 2 guys, amongst others, including the tight end Decker DeGraff, program builders and building blocks for the future of Husky football. They put Muhammad in motion on first down. Fake it to him. Now Williams is going to just run out of bounds and lose 4 yards.
Yeah, good discipline that time. Kobe Savage, number 5, was not fooled by any of the action. They tried to show a lot of stuff in the backfield. And Savage, number 5, is going to just stay at home and read it and then make the play. There he is. He comes into the picture. He's got his eyes on the quarterback, and he forces Williams to go out of bounds.
An Oregon defense that has been stout all season. Top 10 in total defense, scoring defense, 8th in the country.
Really good at not allowing touchdowns in the red zone also. I mean, they've been outstanding all year.
Play action, Williams with time. Now it runs out. He's going to have to use his legs. Williams slipping every which direction, finally gets twisted down back at the line of scrimmage.
See, when you play a quarterback like this as a defensive line, you have to rush the passer a little different. You have to have a little bit more discipline in your rush lanes. You can't get right up the field. Watch these rushers for Oregon. Very disciplined, kind of keeping him hemmed in, not allowing him to bust out and use that speed.
And now 3rd down and 13. Now keep in mind, Grady Gross, who was an excellent kicker, especially coming into the season for Washington, has struggled mightily this year kicking the ball. Let's see how they handle the 3rd and long. Quick throw over the middle. Denzel Boston gets crunched in between a couple Oregon defenders. Brandon Johnson, the first one to make contact, sets up 4th and about 4.
Yeah, decision time right now for Jedd Fisch. I mean, he looks like he's... Here we go, Grady Gross coming in, get points on the board, and you know, I get it. You've had a nice drive. You responded to that opening touchdown drive. Your freshman quarterback made some plays. Let's get points at the end of this drive.
The guy that kicked 4 game-winning field goals last year, but it has been an up and down and really turbulent season. 16 of 24 on the year. This one, a chip shot from 26 yards out. And the kick from Gross is good. Washington goes right back down the field and responds with points. 7-3 early in this battle in the Pacific Northwest on Big Ten Saturday night. Get tickets now for the most magical event of the year. Wicked, rated PG, in theaters now. Don't miss this spectacular cinematic event. Todd, you can confirm it was a spectacular cinematic event.
Outstanding, outstanding. Yep.
And the offense has been outstanding as well so far for each of the first drives. It might be a Big Ten matchup, but it feels like a little throwback Pac-12 love right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oregon with the running game in their opening drive. Washington starts the game with a long pass completion. Explosive plays to start this first quarter.
So Gross will kick it off. It'll be Jordan James and Jaden Lamar back for Oregon. They've been directional. Jedd Fisch talked about a little bit different in how they were going to approach kicking off, kicking coverage, and they do a decent job there. After the tackle, Sadiq was the one to bring it back.
Time now for a look from above, brought to you by Walmart. It was that offensive line of Oregon in the first opening drive, some power football, pulling backside guards. Tight end Ferguson leading the way through. Now coming the other way, backside guard and tackle, asserting themselves. This offensive line since week 2 has been the strength of this football team, and they made it look easy in that opening drive, pushing around this Washington front 7.
Only 5 sacks allowed from weeks 3 to week 13, tied for the second fewest in FBS, trailing only Army. And you know that's not your traditional type of offense. Drive will start from the 38-yard line. Gabriel to the air. Pocket collapses, and that's going to be the first incompletion on either side. Isaiah Ward provided some pressure.
And this is not a team that gets a lot of sacks, but they play excellent coverage. And Gabriel, unable to find an open receiver, tries to step up in the pocket and throw late. It's a defense that, under Steve Belichick, their coordinator, shows you a lot of different packages. I mean, they like to disguise coverage. Their corners play man-to-man extremely well. Like even right now, they're showing pressure up here, but that doesn't mean they're going to play pressure.
It's a run. James to the outside, a stiff arm, and then ushered out of bounds across the 40-yard line. We'll mark him down at the 43.
There's Steve Belichick. Again, they've been outstanding in their pass defense, the run defense, particularly in some of the games they've lost. Against Iowa, over 200 yards. Against Penn State, the Nittany Lions ran it 40 times for 266 yards. And right now, Oregon trying to test this defense with their run game.
Washington has struggled to get off the field on 3rd down. Jedd Fisch said that was going to be one of the biggest keys of the game. Huskies believe there was movement up front for Oregon, and said Isaiah Ward got into the neutral zone but got back before they could snap it. Play clock down to 2. Here's Gabriel. Steps up, delivers. Oh, it's incomplete. Dropped by Evan Stewart. You just don't see that often.
Well, Stewart knew that he had green grass ahead of him. Watch him turn his eyes off the ball and start to look upfield just a hair too soon. He just didn't secure the catch. He knew he had some room to run after the catch, but he didn't secure the football.
Gabriel has loved the connection that he's built with Evan Stewart. And it's his first drop pass in 64 targets, courtesy of PFF. And the first punt of the day after Oregon's first 3rd down, with a flag before they could get it off.
False start. Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
These two coaches, well, you don't always know what it's going to look like when you've got rivalry games and building over years. Jedd Fisch said these games will get better if they stay together as staffs moving forward, but they've got a great amount of respect for each other. Yeah. They've talked a lot about that publicly, and we even saw them before the game conferring with one another as well. So this will be a punt for Ross James. Denzel Boston back for Washington.
Wow, he bombed that thing.
A little too much.
Yeah.
Into the end zone for a touchback. It goes 62 yards. And a second look at Damon Williams.
Back in Eugene, Oregon, time now for Big Shots, brought to you by Nissan. Damon Williams, a good start to this game in his first career start. First play of the game, deep throw to Jeremiah Hunter. Then you see his running ability on the zone read. And then even a play that didn't gain a lot of yards, he just avoids a sack and turns a negative play into a short game. And then Oregon was able to kind of bottle him up at the end of that drive in the red zone, but he still got points on the board, which is impressive for his first start.
That last play was the biggest difference that Jedd Fisch mentioned between him and Will Rogers, was if something looks like it could go negative, he could quickly turn it at least into nothing. Play clock down to 5. And a handoff on 1st down for Coleman. Busted to the outside, being held from behind and dragged down by Uiagalelei with a flag down.
Yeah, did he get him by the horse collar? Again, this guy is hard to bring down. He is a physical back. A lot of his yards are after contact. We'll wait for the call here.
Take a look. Does he get him? Is it just the jersey? Let's hear from Jerry McGinn.
There's no foul on the play for a horse collar. Second down.
Terry McCauley, I know you've been watching this replay. What'd you see?
Yeah, he grabs the nameplate area, which is part of it, just it is inside the collar, but he does pull down. Even though he falls forward, it's still a foul because there's that an abrupt pull down immediately when he grabs the nameplate. They should have left the flag down.
So it just stays as a 5-yard gain for Coleman. His best run on just 2 attempts so far. And he'll stay in there. Williams will keep it himself, fake the pass, and show off the wheels again for the first down. We send it down to KT.
Well, one thing tight end Kaleki Latu told me is that Damon has been taking the pressure during games well. He's learning to communicate between the lines, use his voice, make his reads. And one thing that he's really amazing about Damon is that he can scramble and throw on the run so he can be a threat in the pocket and outside the pocket, as we just saw, guys.
Yeah, I think that last play was the perfect example.
Yep. One thing for Oregon now, Jordan Burch, who we have not seen. We've done 2 games, and he's been injured both games. He is a dynamic edge rusher. He's in the game now, but he got fooled on that play. He really came inside on the fake, and Damon Williams ran outside of him.
Here's a screen. They love this quick screen play, and Giles Jackson gets dragged down. Brandon Johnson came in and read it perfectly.
Yeah, they're well aware of how much Washington likes to run screens. Brandon Johnson read that quickly, and he's right there to make the play. They throw screens to the receivers, to the backs, and to the tight ends. And then they'll fake screens and throw the ball down the field as well.
Jed Fish mentioned not quite knowing what the offensive line was going to look like coming into the season, so they put a lot of stress into their screen game. It's paid off multiple this year. Play clock's under 5 here.
Jed Fish calling timeout. And again, this is a young quarterback. He's got a lot going through his head right now, and he kind of lost sight of the play clock there.
Washington, their first of the half.
First freshman mistake of the day. We check in our first game break with Jordan Cornette.
Snowy night in Bloomington, IU leading Purdue 7-0, and it's Curtis Rourke hooking up with Keyshawn Williams for the 14-yard touchdown. Hoosiers trying to strengthen their CFP berth. They lead 14-0 now.
And it feels like they're going to solidify themselves with a win here tonight.
The Big Ten has lots of trophy games. You know what the game is they play that one for?
Oh, what's the trophy? I got to hear it.
It's the Old Oaken Bucket.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I really would love to see what the number of trophy games per conference is. Big Ten's got to be number 1, and they're all awesome.
Yeah.
Second down and 12 coming up here. Damon Williams looking comfortable so far, 4 for 4 with 43 yards. He's carried it 4 times for 15 yards as well. They split Coleman out wide for this second and long. See number 1 on the bottom of the screen. And they'll let him go out of empty. And Williams will take off up the middle. Williams slippery through the middle of that defense, and a first down. Picks up 14.
Well, this is only a 3-man rush. You're going to see Oregon drop 8 into coverage. It's a called quarterback draw, and they got a nice block on the middle linebacker. I think that was Landon Hatchett, the right guard, number 66, got the key block on Betcher, and Williams shows that speed to get the first.
5 carries, 27 yards. Now Williams looking to throw. This time he gets crunched, and who else? Bryce Betcher, the local Eugene kid, on senior night.
Well, there was a blitz from the outside, and that's who Jonah Coleman had to try to pick up. Jonah Coleman's going to pick up the blitz. The linebacker's going to wait until he sees the back go, and then he'll delay rush. Back goes away. Here comes Betcher, and no one to block Betcher. Beautifully timed blitz that time by the inside linebacker from here in Eugene.
You saw the home run type swing after the fact. This is a guy who is a double walk-on. Walked on the football team and the baseball team, was drafted in the 13th round by the Houston Astros, as Coleman will just dive forward for about 3. This is an Oregon defense that has played exceptionally well at times this season, allowing less than 16 points per game, and really stars at all three levels.
Yeah, they've got talent everywhere, and the guy that we just featured, Bryce Betcher, I mean, he's a guy who came here as a walk-on, started out as a safety, moved to linebacker, has just worked on improving his game every year, and he kind of epitomizes what defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi wants this culture to be like. Relentless effort. That describes the way Bryce Betcher plays football.
Play clock under 5 again. 3rd and 15. Here's Williams. Steps up. Now Williams is going to have to make something out of nothing and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. 4th down forced by this Oregon defense.
Well, we mentioned that 2 weeks ago in Madison, Wisconsin, the Oregon offense was not completely on their game. A season low of 16 points, but the defense was phenomenal. I mean, they did their job, and really since that Boise State game, this Oregon defense has been as good as anybody in college football.
That'll bring us to the end of this opening quarter. Oregon will get the football back to start the second. 7-3 after 1. The Ducks looking to put an end to this skid against the Huskies here at Autzen. Aerial coverage brought to you by the Lincoln Wishlist Sales Event. Here at Autzen, this is a great rivalry. Now joining the Big Ten, the Cascade Clash between these two. And from 2004 to 2015, Oregon dominated 12 straight victories. Then 2016, known as the Point, 70-21 Washington win. And most importantly, in recent memory, under Dan Lanning, Oregon has not won this game. They've lost 3 in a row, all by exactly 3 points.
Yeah, you know, you talk to some of the older veteran guys on this team, guys like Betcher, guys like Jeffrey Bassa, guys like Terrence Ferguson. They know this is more than just another game. I mean, they have a chip on their shoulder. It's a rivalry game. The fan bases don't really care for each other at all, and they have not beaten them the last 3 times they've played. So this is a very important game for those guys, for Dan Lanning. Will Stein, the offensive coordinator, told us, I have this game circled all year because he had a couple play calls that he really kind of beat himself up over. 4th down calls in that game a year ago in Seattle.
Jack McAllister will punch it away to start this second quarter. Lets it off cleanly for Gary Bryant, who calls for the fair catch, then lets it sail over his head. It dies beautifully at the 6-yard line. Excellent punt as we go to KT.
And guys, regarding this rivalry, Terrence Ferguson told me that Coach Lanning's message remains consistent. We're doing uncommon things here, and to do uncommon things, you have to be uncommon. Ferguson said the last 3 times we've played Washington, we lost. We owe Washington a beating tonight, guys.
Dan Lanning said, I'm not sure we owe them anything necessarily. I think publicly he's tried to downplay it, but to your point, you know this guy in the locker room.
Here's competitor.
He is feeding into every bit of it.
Yep.
And we'll see how this offense looks on their 3rd drive of the day. They went right down the field in 9 plays, 71 yards to score the touchdown on the first drive from Whittington. Now here they'll start at their own 6. Whittington was the back. Instead, the quick throw to the outside, and Stewart gets planted. Thaddeus Dixon with a big hit.
Yeah, read it quickly. I mean, they read the quick throw. Watch, he sees the quick route, eyes on the quarterback, sees 3-step drop, and is right there to make the tackle. Steve Belichick said Thaddeus Dixon has been one of the real leaders on this defense. Has had a solid season, and really both of their corners, Prysock and Dixon, have played outstanding.
Both extremely confident in their abilities. Dixon says he believes he's the best in the country every time he steps on the field. No real running room that time as Valdez came up to make the play for this Washington defense.
A good opportunity right now for the Huskies. They get a good punt. They pin Oregon back. Chance to get off the field here.
Steve Belichick has given his players freedom in this system. He teaches them the system, he installs it, he makes sure they understand what the idea behind it is, but it's up to them to make the calls on the field.
And 3rd down has been a problem area for them. This is a chance for them to get off the field on 3rd down.
Holden in motion on 3rd down and 5. Gabriel looks. Gabriel steps up to the outside. Gabriel has enough for the first down. Just good enough with his legs. We've seen him make some big plays on the ground. Gains 9 to move the sticks.
And they had a spy. Watch right here. Number 28 is the spy on the quarterback. His responsibility is to not let this happen. And Dillon Gabriel shows his speed and gets to the outside. They had a guy there for him, and Dillon Gabriel made him pay. Took a bad angle, and Gabriel showed more speed than they thought he had.
That was a true freshman, Kamari House, at linebacker. They've stuck with Whittington so far on this drive. He's got the carry with a stutter step, and he'll pick up 2. Valdez, another tackle.
That play, that third down play is to me what makes Dillon Gabriel so special. He doesn't run a lot, but when he runs, it's typically very effective, whether it's a zone read, whether it's a scramble, whether it's extending a play. We saw him make a play on 4th and 9 against Wisconsin, the first play of the fourth quarter. Just his ability to scramble, extend the play, make an accurate throw. When they need big plays, he delivers.
Gabriel pumps. Scramble drill and throws it out of bounds. Nice job by Bruner to stay on Whittington on the outside. So another third down opportunity, another chance for this Washington defense to get off the field.
Well, and again, this is a hard challenge because this Oregon offense, one of the best in the country on third down. 48.9% conversion coming into the game. And really, had they not been 5 for 15 against Wisconsin, they'd have been over 50% coming in the game.
The comfortability factor between offensive coordinator Will Stein and his quarterback Dillon Gabriel. Let's see where they cook up here on 3rd down and 8. Gabriel, short pass. Whittington goes high and then comes down hard. Ball comes out at the end, but they're going to roll them down well short of the first down as Dixon made another big hit. Dixon went up top.
Rolling the field was that the runner was down. 4th down.
Dyson McCutcheon went down low. And let's see if he definitely was down before the ball came out. I'm not sure he was. That looks like the ball's out before anything touches the ground.
Yeah, he's on top of Dixon.
The runner was down the previous play.
I don't know why he went up in the air to begin with. I mean, that was a questionable decision on Whittington's part.
It looks like Lance Holtzclaw jumps right on this. This should be a clear recovery on top of everything for Washington. See number 10 right there. This should be Washington football with outstanding field position. Remember when Ohio State was here, there was a momentum shifting play when Derek Harmon ripped the ball away from Quinshon Judkins. This feels similar type of situation and space on the field, just on the other side for Washington.
Well, when you're playing the #1 team in the country, particularly in their building, you have to look for any opportunities to take the ball away, to steal a possession, to change momentum in the game. And this could be one of those kind of plays right here for the Huskies.
So 2 big hits on the drive from Thad Dixon, the cornerback transfer from Long Beach Community College in his senior season.
After further review, the runner was not down. It was a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st and 10, Washington at the 23-yard line.
Big play for the Huskies, and here they are now in business offensively.
And I would not be surprised if Jedd Fisch takes a shot at the end zone right here on 1st down. Big momentum changing play, great field position. See if you can get a quick one right now with the momentum in your favor.
Jedd Fisch, what did he say towards the end of our meeting with him? We're going to throw the kitchen sink of football at this team and see what happens. They'll have this one a 1st down from the 23-yard line of the Ducks.
Well, the guy you look for if you're going for a shot is Boston, number 12 at the top of the screen.
Trickery, a lot of it. Back to Williams, and Williams can't get away. Blown up by this Ducks front. Justin Jacobs, the transfer from Iowa, comes in to make the play.
Well, they're going to try to get it to Boston. He's at the top running a post, but he's covered. There's nowhere really to go for the football. Good discipline by the Oregon defense, not fooled by the trick play, and then just the quickness of their pursuit. Getting there, Justin Jacobs, number 4, finishing the job.
So now behind schedule again for Demond Williams. Quick throw, quick catch. It's Jeremiah Hunter again. This time across the 20 into the red zone will set up 3rd and short.
Good play right there because you get that yardage back and you give yourselves a manageable play on 3rd down. We saw Washington with a great opportunity to get off the field in 3rd down. Big 3rd down play now for this Oregon defense to force a field goal attempt.
Empty for Williams. And the rush comes. The rush gets home. Uiagalelei.
Well, nobody blocked Uiagalelei. I don't quite understand this pass protection. Here he is right here. He's going to come free. Nobody even accounts for him. And that's not the way you want to protect your quarterback. The leading sacker on this Oregon defense, you leave unblocked.
And now that puts you at a little bit longer of a field goal for Grady Gross. He was missed the 8 this year. He did hit earlier today from 26.
Excellent sudden change defense by the Ducks.
And the 41-yarder is true. Calm kicking from Grady Gross. And Oregon does get the stop. It was the fumble forced by Dixon. It set up the Huskies in outstanding position, but Uiagalelei adds another sack to his tally. Big Ten Saturday Night is brought to you by Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference. By Geico, get more with Geico. And by Copilot Plus PCs powered by Snapdragon. 2010 Oregon, 12-0, their only undefeated season in program history, untied, I should say. And they're looking to do the same here today to get to 12-0 in the regular season. That team would go on to the BCS National Championship, lose to Cam Newton and Auburn.
I wonder what Washington will do on this kickoff. They have had trouble kicking it deep, so Jed Fish said they were going to try more sky kicks, squib kicks. That last sky kick, the first one, Oregon had great field position. I wonder if they'll try something different on this one.
Let's see what Gross does. He'll pop it up again. It'll be a short one. And it's going to be Whittington, who has already returned one nearly for a touchdown earlier this year, and a positive one again across the 45 as we check in with Jordan Cornette.
Arch Manning in for Quinn Ewers for a pivotal 4th and 2. And the package a success. Take a look at the young star's effort. He will be ruled out at the 2-yard line. Take another look. Call reversed. It's a touchdown. Horns lead 7-0 over the Aggies.
Wow.
Talk about 2 quarterback systems right there.
Yeah.
Washington looking to prove that they've got 2 elite level quarterbacks themselves. For Oregon, they know they've got one of the best in the country who led them down the field for the touchdown on the first drive, but Dylan Gabriel and this offense have stalled the last 2.
Yeah, but they have excellent field position right here. I don't quite understand that kickoff strategy.
And a handoff to James on first down. Stiff arm on the first. And across midfield into Washington territory. Cam Fab helps him out of bounds, but he gains 8 on first down.
Jordan James, a physical runner. That's a defensive tackle that he is stiff arming to get outside.
So a 2nd down and 3. You see James has been effective when he's gotten the football. They'll give it right back to him. He finds that hole across 40. And another first down run for James as Fabiculanen makes another tackle.
It just hits the hole so hard. And again, the running game has been the thing that has been a problem for Washington in terms of how they've played defense. And when you run the football that way, it just sets up play action. It brings another safety down into the area to defend the run and creates more one-on-one situations to throw the football.
Terrence Ferguson said that Dillon Gabriel must feel like he's playing Madden at times with all of the options he has on this offense. Let's see who goes to here. Through his progressions, lets it rip over the middle. It's Holden in stride. Trayshawn Holden dives. Touchdown. What an effort. 40-yard strike for the Ducks.
Well, it starts with tremendous protection. Here's the end of the play. Looks like he's going to be a little bit short, even though it was called touchdown. But nonetheless, an incredible effort by Holden.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was a touchdown.
But the protection, though, was fantastic. And you talked about going through the progressions. That's exactly what Dillon Gabriel did. Started out looking left, came back right and found Holden on the deep in route. And then Holden with the run after the catch. But you can see knee down before the ball crosses the plane.
Looks like maybe about the half-yard line. That was very close. Ruled it a touchdown on the field. Here's a better look down the line. Knee is down right there, so right at that almost inch line. But an outstanding effort from Holden just to get there. He has had that turbulent season. And here's the call.
After further review, the runner was down at the half-yard line. First and goal.
Well, let's go back and look at this again. Now watch the protection up front. Dillon Gabriel is going to start reading this route left. He's able to stay right in there and come all the way back to the other side of the field. He finds Holden on the deep in route. But you can't do this without excellent protection. And he hits Holden for the big play.
So Holden, frustrated that his touchdown gets wiped off. Would have been his 4th touchdown of the year. He's 3rd on the team in all receiving categories behind Tez Johnson and Evan Stewart. And now it's 1st and goal from inside the 1. Give it to James, and he plunges forward for the touchdown. 12th score of the year for Jordan James, and Oregon in front by a score.
What a great job by the left guard, Deshaun Strother. Watch number 50 come off the ball and just bang 2 guys. And Jordan James gets right on his hip. Easy touchdown for James. Power blocking by their left guard, Deshaun Strother. And the tackle.
So a touchdown for Noah Whittington on the first drive, and now a touchdown for Jordan James on this second drive. A running game, as expected, effective early for this Oregon offense. Sappington's extra point is right down the middle. Well, this really started with the short kick from Brady Gross. They had perfect field position, and then this strike over the middle to Holden down to the half-yard line. James pays it off, and Oregon on senior night with an 8-point cushion. With Discover, every fan earns cash back on their game day purchases. Discover, the official card of the Big Ten. Well, last night, Wilsonville defeated Mountain View by a whopping score, 56-35 in the Oregon 5A state championship. They repeat as state champions, and quarterback Mark Wiepert went nuts. Championship record, 8 total touchdowns to claim state. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, good night.
So far, a good night for Oregon. A couple of touchdown drives. Dillon Gabriel efficient, 6 of 9. 73 yards, and now Washington will look to retort as Sappington will send it deep, and Gata will take it from the goal line, finding a crease and rolls over across the 25.
Well, so far, this Oregon defense has recognized, look, the best way to stop this freshman quarterback is to stop him before he gets started. Some creative pressures, Betcher the sack there. Then they tried the trick play, and it didn't fool the Oregon defense. They get another sack, and then the 3rd sack of the first half. Uiagalelei unblocked. You see the skittish feet by the freshman quarterback. Oregon saying, look, we're not going to let this guy get running on us. We're going to hem him in and bring bodies at him. Tosh Lupoi, defensive coordinator, aggressive mindset all day long.
One of the finalists for the Broyles Award, top assistant in college football, and a fumble. Oregon right on top of it. Derek Harmon jumps on it, and the Ducks right back in business.
Well, Harmon gets the recovery, but Betcher makes the play. Watch Betcher now come on a run blitz, and he's going to be right there at the point of the handoff and blows up the play in the backfield. Coleman just barely got the football. Betcher was there and knocked it loose. And Harmon able to fall on the football. Bryce Betcher, the local kid, having himself a first half.
Already with a sack, now the strip. You know, he was asked about this rivalry coming into the game through this week. And he said, for those that say there's not a little extra in this game, I think that's a little bit of BS.
Yeah.
Said, I hate the Huskies and the Huskies hate us. Now can they pay it off? Gabriel quickly caught. James upfield. Oh, James with the power to finish. It's 1st and goal.
Well, James kind of gets lost coming out, and then when he has a full head of steam, he is a hard guy to get on the ground. And he runs right over Ephesians Prysock. Slipped out of the backfield, unaccounted for, and Gabriel got him the football.
James keeps it churning. Waiting for the official signal. Touchdown. Back to back for Jordan James. And just like that, it's a 2-score lead.
Well, Jordan James has been the go-to guy here in this first half. Catches the ball, then he gets the power run, his second effort, because he was kind of met by Bandez in the backfield and didn't stop moving his legs, got the ball in the end zone. And again, the play set up by the forced fumble by Betcher. And Oregon capitalizes on the turnover.
If this extra point goes through, it'll be 14 points in a 50-second span off this game clock. 39 seconds on those 2 plays to pound it in. And a fake. Looking for 2. Oh, the push. Patrick Herbert on the receiving end. The other local Eugene kid making an impact on senior night, but a flag is down. Kenyon Sadiq, one tight end to another.
An eligible receiver, downfield offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, replay to try.
A Johnny Cornelius called as the illegal man downfield. Dan Lanning, we've seen, has been willing to do just about anything on the field, looking for another one.
Well, they show different looks. They're going to fake an extra point. And that's just, there he is. He's in the end zone blocking. But I don't know.
So they're trying to make sure that both of the Eugene products make themselves felt. Betcher's already had a huge first half with the sack and the strip. And now Patrick Herbert, brother of Justin Herbert, nearly had the 2-pointer. Instead, it will be Sappington to make it 21-6. Well, Betcher, you might as well call him Captain Duck. He does it all for this team, including playing baseball at this university. Then Jordan James will make you feel him. Then you'll showcase what he can do. His second touchdown extends the lead for the Ducks. Tomorrow night, the San Francisco 49ers head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Football Night in America begins 7 p.m. Eastern on NBC and Peacock. The good news for San Fran fans, Brock Purdy expected to start tomorrow night. You've got Josh Allen recently engaged for Buffalo, but the bad news for both quarterbacks, weather could be a bit iffy, let's call it. The radars from the last 3 hours, we've already seen a lot of snow dumped down in Buffalo. I mean, he doesn't care about whatever is happening here because currently it's chilly. I would say chilly's the best way to put it, and he looks like he's having a wonderful time.
And I bet there's not coffee in that mug.
That's a safe bet. Midway through this second quarter, Oregon looking to take a stranglehold on this ball game. We'll see if Washington can fight back, and the fair catch called for and made. Bryce Betcher already making a massive impact. Speaking of the Bills, he grew up here in Eugene, attended South Eugene High School, lifelong University of Oregon fan, but he played for a team that is the Buffalo Bills in Pop Warner's state championship football game. That's at Autzen Stadium in 3rd grade. And now you fast forward all these years later, he's got the linebacker neck pad, and he is looking the part every step so far tonight.
Plays with great passion, relentless effort. And he's a guy who's just gotten better as a football player each year that he's been in the program.
He'll go on to play pro baseball after this season comes to an end. Williams out of the gun. Rolls back around, and Williams will throw an incompletion, his first incompletion of the night. As mentioned, Betcher grew up here as a fan, grew up having season tickets to all the games. He said, it was my dream since I was a little kid to play for the Ducks. Obviously, my first game at Autzen was a dream come true. First game at PK Park was a dream come true. You can't really put it into words. I've tried to, and there is the ballpark, very well manicured, as mentioned, right across the way from Autzen.
I think it's turf, though.
It is, yes. That's why it's well manicured.
Yes.
Handoff, nothing doing. Another TFL, Jamari Caldwell. 7th tackle for loss tonight for this defense.
Yeah, Oregon is attacking the line of scrimmage now. This front four is legit. And whether Jordan Birch is in there or not, he's not in on this possession, but Jamari Caldwell and Derek Harmon on the inside have been dominant type players.
Third and 12 for Williams. Good protection, fires, caught, but well short. Kaleki Latu gets dumped by Dante Manning.
Well, again, this Oregon defense, it's almost like they're kind of like sharks in the water right now, and they've got a little taste of blood. And they are going after the quarterback. They're attacking the line of scrimmage. And right now, they're kind of putting the squeeze on Damon Williams.
Washington team at 6-5. They've won all 6 home games. They've lost all 5 games away from home. 2 back to receive here, and it will be brought in by Bryant with some room to work with. Bryant to the outside, Bryant across midfield, and out of bounds near the 45. Nice return for Gary Bryant Jr., who had been dealing with injury for most of the season. They love having his explosion back. Up by 15. Well, this is a pretty young coaching staff, and Tosh Lupoi is actually older than his head coach and offensive coordinator, but as a defensive coordinator, he brings the boom, and he definitely brings a lot of energy. You see Dan Lanning joins it as well. This is all pregame today, getting ready for the game, and they inject that energy into their team.
Absolutely, and I mean, one of the pillars of their defense is relentless effort. And I mean, look, this is an outstanding defensive football team, one of the best in the Big Ten in all the major categories. I think sometimes the flashy uniforms that Oregon wears week to week, people underrate and undervalue how good and how physical their defense is.
Around the edge, it's going to be Whittington. He's got a lot of speed with the ball in his hands, and he crosses the 30, plunging forward towards the 25.
I mean, this is a defensive-minded head coach, and he wants to be physical. Offensively, that means running the football. And it's not just offensive linemen blocking. On perimeter runs like that, it's wide receivers blocking. I mean, they want to be tenacious, aggressive, physical. They want you to feel them on offense and defense.
Could be a free play here. Gabriel's going to take the shot down the middle. It's Ferguson, makes the grab inside the 5.
Only one place you could put this football, and Dylan Gabriel put it in the one place you could throw it.
Offside. Defense, number 52. Penalties decline, result of the play.
Dylan Gabriel knows he has a free play, goes to his favorite target, Terrence Ferguson. And again, there is a crowd of Husky defenders, and there's only one spot that ball can go, and Ferguson makes the catch inside the 5.
Continues to climb up the record books. Ties for the most catches by a tight end in school history. Gabriel to the air. Gabriel pumps, now he'll run, and Gabriel is going to get there. Touchdown, Oregon. They're clicking now. Another drive in less than a minute to get into the end zone.
Well, as we've seen in college football the last few weeks, teams get upset, teams are not on their A game. This is a team that has been ranked number 1 since week 6, and they have proven that they're the best team in college football by finding ways to get it done. And they are on their game tonight. Dylan Gabriel, the little pump fake, gets Bruner up in the air. The knee's down, but it looked like the ball was clearly across the plane when the knee came down. This was a funny play because it almost looked like Dylan Gabriel went the wrong way or made the wrong fake and then just took care of the ball himself and got it in the end zone.
To that point you were making, that was one thing that Jedd Fisch said. He said it's one thing to be ranked number 1 in the country week 3, week 5. But to do it week 14 and to have done it consistently up to week 14 is another thing. He said same for being undefeated. You could be undefeated 5 games into the season, 7 games into the season. To be 11-0, doesn't matter how you win. That's difficult to do.
Well, they're the only team.
After further
the
review,
only team in college football.
The field stands.
Jerry McGinn gave us a little bit of...
Yeah, a little pause.
Yeah, I like that. Either way, it does stand for Gabriel. They've now scored 3 touchdowns in the last 9 plays offensively and can make it 28-6.
His 7th rushing touchdown of the season.
Right now, Sadiq is lined up to take the snap. Now they'll change it up. Before, when they ran that fake, it wasn't Sappington who was lined up to kick it. Instead, it looked like Ross James was lined up to kick. Now you've got traditional with Sappington, which should tell you that this one's going up and it's going through. Always got to be on high alert, no matter what.
I think Joe Loring must just like wake up at night, you know, like with these crazy plays. But watch, Gabriel looks like he was supposed to hand off. He's not there. Now a little pump fake, get Bruner up in the air, and then duck underneath him to get to the end zone. His 61st career start. He's kind of seen a little bit of everything. And he's got his offense rolling. Again, they wanted to come out in this game after the way their offense played and kind of struggled a little bit in Madison 2 weeks ago. Wanted to be sharp on offense, and they've been that way tonight.
Now 21 unanswered points, and it's happened quickly.
Yeah. Well, field position has helped, whether it's by turnover or short kickoffs, but they have capitalized with explosive plays.
See Jedd Fisch just going back to the drawing board on the Washington sideline. Those two have cooked up a perfect defensive game plan really after that first drive from Washington. They have struggled to move the football despite Damon Williams being effective in terms of his completion percentage. They just haven't gone forward enough. Another fair catch going to be called for and made inside the 2 from Ngata as we check in with Jordan.
Horns driving once again, and check out the touch from Quinn Ewers. Places it perfectly, 7 yards to Jaden Blue. It'd be ruled out of bounds. Take another look. Oh no, that's 6. Horns lead 14-0 over the Aggies.
6 indeed. That's a big time throw and catch to take the 2-score lead. Obviously major implications there in the SEC championship picture.
Great to see that game back.
Yes, it is.
You know, that rivalry back. I mean, this is the best weekend in college football. Rivalry week. We got one here. They got one there. But Texas and Texas A&M were apart for A long time when A&M went to the SEC. It's great to see that rivalry game back.
And they get Jonah Coleman going again here for Washington. He does a great job on a blitz pickup, but then airmailed by Williams looking for Giles Jackson.
That time Jed Fish and Brennan Carroll try to go max protection. They know this quarterback is under heat, so they only ran 2 receivers in the route, kept as many guys in to block. Both tight ends and Coleman in helping protection. Protection was there, but there was no open receivers to throw the football to.
Jed Fish has been impressed with the improvements by Jonah Coleman in that category. Pass protection. When you asked about it, he said, I know I'm going to have to do it at the NFL level. Got to level it up. Williams will keep it. Williams to the outside, and he just shakes off the first tackle to gain 4 yards and set up 3rd and 6.
And what's happening with this Oregon defense is the safeties and the linebackers are just really locked in on Demond Williams. It's almost like they're treating him as like an option quarterback. So when he starts to run, they are flying through the alleys to come up and make tackles, but that time he was able to shake off the initial tackle.
Washington converted its first 3rd down of the day. Since then, 0 for their last 4. This one's going to be 3rd and 7 officially. Williams feels it, evades. Williams on the run at Jackson. Big gain for Giles Jackson across midfield. Nice job, Williams, keeping his eyes downfield for 23 yards.
Giles Jackson, the leading receiver. He's in the slot right here, number 5, and he's just going to kind of move with the quarterback. He sees the scramble. He kind of stays on the same plane with the quarterback, and Williams does a nice job of finding him and getting him the football.
Jackson now 3 catches, 25 yards. Hunter had the big one. They still haven't really gotten Denzel Boston super involved. Just 1 catch for 7 yards. Just want to hand off up the middle, and Coleman, not much more room to work with, gains a yard and runs into Harmon.
But Coleman has to be a factor for them. I know they're down 28-6, but he's too good of a player and too important of a player to this offense to completely go away from the run. They've got to try to keep him involved and try to be as balanced as they can.
The big news coming out of Seattle this week is Coleman will return for a senior season next year. 1,000 yards this season, 9 touchdowns coming into the game as we're under 3 minutes here in the second. And movement. Oregon shifted. Washington trying to insist that they jump because of that. And we'll see what they eventually rule.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
First of the night, 70th penalty of the year. Terry, what do you think?
So this one, Noah Todd should have been on the defense. If we watch the nose tackle, his hand, that excess hand movement, that's not football move. It should have been a quick and abrupt on the defense and 5 yards there.
It's a point of emphasis this season. We've seen a couple of them in critical situations, in fact. But it makes it now 2nd down and 14. Play action. Williams is going to have to get away and turn it upfield towards the initial line of scrimmage. Betcher was chasing him as he's out of bounds. They'll mark him right at the midfield line.
Tuioti was there first. He wasn't fooled by the fake, but just the speed of Williams was able to get around him. But for a very short game.
Okay, now it's 3rd and 11. They don't have to run this here. Could take it down to the 2-minute timeout, just about concurrent with that play clock.
It doesn't look like they're going to.
And they'll take it to the 2-minute.
Timeout.
So, 22-point game as we reach 2 minutes. And now let's take a special look at Disney's new epic adventure, Mufasa, the Lion King, in theaters everywhere, December 20th. Look at the United Cam here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. The Ducks trying to remain unbeaten. The final undefeated team remaining in all of college football. Oh yeah, that's a look right there. Crowd into it. One of the loudest environments in college football. And they have loved every step this season.
Oregon's defense, a lot of tackles for loss, 3 sacks. Jordan Burch, who's missed 4 of the last 6 games, out there on this 3rd down and 10. And he's a guy right here, number 1. I mean, you really have to account for him in your pass protection.
Williams, deep drop. Williams under traffic. Oh, a dime for the first down. Jeremiah Hunter right there.
This is a heck of a throw because he is under duress. He's throwing it off his back foot, and you see the arm strength to make that throw. Backing up. Harmon right there providing the pressure, and Hunter comes away with the big catch for a first down.
2 big conversions on 3rd down to keep this drive alive. Remember, Washington deferred or get the football to start the second half. If they can find a way to double dip, changes the chemistry of this game. Williams nearly got away, but he won't. Another sack. This one, Jeffrey Bassa.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Jamari Caldwell, number 90. Watch him right over the center. I mean, he just takes the center and drives him right back into the lap of the quarterback. And Williams is lucky to get that ball back to the line of scrimmage. But Jamari Caldwell and Harmon collapsing the pocket from the inside. Again, this front 4, you have those 2 guys, Caldwell and Harmon, who transferred from Michigan State. Uiagalelei on the edge, Jordan Burch on the edge. This is a full-size defensive front. And I just think, again, people don't recognize how good this Oregon defense is. They've got talent at each level of the defense. But Dan Lanning, Toss Lupoi, they both were part of national championship teams in Alabama and Georgia. And they know what a championship defense, it starts with the defensive line and having a dominant defensive front. And they've got that here in Eugene.
I mean, just look at the numbers tonight. 4 sacks, 8 tackles for losses. Minute 21 to play. Washington only have 1 timeout remaining. Another beautiful ball on the run. This time Giles Jackson's going to have the first down as Savage dragged him forward with a flag down. There's some impressive arm angles from Damon Williams.
And that's, you know, the mistake you make about Damon Williams if you think he's only a running quarterback. He's got really good arm talent. Obviously, he was going to Arizona, started out at Arizona with this coaching staff, and when Jedd Fisch took the job here.
Face mask. Defense, number 5. Penalty forcing the end of the run, half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down. The clock will start.
Take a look at this. An off-balance throw, off-platform throw, and there's the face mask, 5-on-5. Kobe Savage getting a hold of the face mask of Giles Jackson, and a great field position, a scoring opportunity for the Huskies here right before the end of the half.
Got to find a way to convert in the red zone. They had struggled with that to a certain degree earlier in the season. They've gotten better after their late bye week in the year. Boston was the target a lot early this season. He's got single coverage, and they're going to him in the end zone. He made the grab, but it didn't look like he get the feet down. They're going to call it a catch, 1st and goal.
Oh, my goodness. Well, he is tall. He's 6'3". Does he get a foot down?
No.
Oh, he left his feet to make the catch. The field judge got knocked off his feet as well.
And they try to get up quick to run it, but they will stop it to take a look.
It looked like he left his feet to make the catch.
The question is whether or not 1 foot stayed down, similar to what we saw
previous plays
earlier.
under further review. The ruin on the field was a reception.
Does he have the foot down before he leaves the ground with the ball secured? Oh, he drags.
Drags the left.
Wow.
What a catch. I thought this was an overthrow for sure, but again, Boston, the tallest of the receivers, extends and then drags the left foot. Oh, that's a beautiful picture right there.
What an effort. And maintains that control all the way down. That's going to stand as a catch. He was battling with Nico Reed, the transfer from Colorado. There's the true look on the zoom in. Boston started this season on a ridiculous tear of scoring touchdowns. He currently has 9 on the year, tied for the most in the Big Ten, but he hasn't scored one since week 7. Williams recognized that he had the advantage, went
After
to him.
further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Reception. First down, Washington.
I like the delivery from Jerry McGinn today. That's the second pause. So, first and goal now upcoming with 1:05 on the clock. And this Washington drive, they finally have gotten a couple third down conversions to extend it.
Well, and they've got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone. And I think Jonah Coleman still has to be a factor here in this part of the field. He breaks tackles, he runs with power. They've got one timeout and 1:05 left until the end of the half.
Correction, the ball should be at the 1-yard line.
Move it a little bit closer. Coleman's got 9 touchdowns on the season, 5'9", about 230 pounds. Came in with 70 missed tackles forced, most in the conference. They're going to go out of the gun. Williams, handoff. Coleman spinning. Short. Jedd Fisch said, as Dan Lanning's going to call his first timeout,
Oregon.
Jedd Fisch said to us that one of Jonah Coleman's best traits, and he felt that it was a legitimate trait, is his ability to find ways to get into the end zone. He said he felt the same way about Todd Gurley at the NFL level. Right here, he was inches, and I mean inches short.
Yeah, Kobe Savage is the guy who came across the line of scrimmage first and made first contact. And then Jamari Caldwell, the big defensive tackle, is the guy who actually stopped him short of the goal line.
Coming up on the Xfinity Halftime Report, 9 days future after the Michigan loss, a loss that shook the college football world. Notre Dame feels like they've sealed themselves in that college football playoff conversation. The rivalry resuming, Texas and Texas A&M. After the Longhorns took the early 2-score lead, we'll check in with that and everything else from around the country. The Xfinity Halftime Report. All right, second and goal.
Notre Dame was impressive today, right?
Oh, very much
21
so.
at one point, and they ran away with it. So you got Coleman or you've got the quarterback, both running threats here on second down.
It's Coleman again, and this time he goes right up the middle for the touchdown.
Really nice block by the freshman tight end, Decker DeGraff. You're going to see him come across the formation right here and get a nice block. And he is improved week by week as a blocker, and Coleman goes right in behind him. Good push by the right side of the line, and then the tight end coming across.
So now, 16-point game. They'll go for 2 to try to bring it back to 14. With 51 seconds left in this first half. And they will get the football to start the third quarter, but remember, 9 plays, 3 touchdowns for this Oregon offense. 1 for 3 on 2-point conversions this year. Williams to throw. Williams rifles. It is caught. Denzel Boston pays it off.
It is all man coverage, and it's a nice design. They freed it up the back of the end zone for Boston. Here he goes the back of the end zone, but Jeremiah Hunter, number 6, kind of held his defender, so it was one-on-one in the back, and Williams is able to get the ball to his big receiver. Brandon Johnson, the nickelback, was in coverage, but that was a well-designed and well-executed play to get one-on-one with your big receiver, and Williams delivered the football.
And Todd, I'll tell you what, that's an 11-play, 75-yard touchdown drive in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Damon Williams came in second half against UCLA 2 weeks ago before the bye week, led a field goal drive, then 2 touchdown drives. But that drive in particular, the poise on the 2 third-and-long conversions, and then to find their way into the end zone and the 2-point, that was impressive from the true freshman.
I mean, he has got all kind of talent, and he's got poise, and he's got confidence. And that's a momentum-changing thing to go into the locker room with. Now look, make no mistake, Will Rogers had a good, most of the year was very good. And Washington would not be bowl eligible without Will Johnson and the way he played earlier in the year. But he struggled down the stretch, and Damon Williams was ready for his opportunity, and he gives them the best chance to win in a game like this.
Jordan James gets spun down like a top. There is Will Rogers right there. You see the difference from the beginning of the year where he was really stupendous, 75% completion percentage, only 1 total turnover, but the difference is really in that category. The turnovers in particular, he had a couple of them 2 weeks ago against UCLA.
Yeah, it was back-to-back possessions in the third quarter. And they were both really bad interceptions, just throwing into coverage. There was nothing there, forcing the issue. He really started to press a little bit, and Damon Williams came in after that and played extremely well.
43 seconds, 2 timeouts for Oregon to work with here. And on the run, Gabriel tipped up and incomplete. Stewart has had a couple now right in his grasp that he couldn't bring in.
Oregon seeing if they can get something going here. Even though there's not much time, they do have 2 timeouts. You see how you do on that first play. But an incomplete pass.
You know how explosive they can be. They have been one of the most explosive offenses in the country. Getting some big plays through the year. 20 pass plays of 30-plus yards coming into the game. This one's going to be a short one for Jordan James to the outside. He gets away from Bruner and then stayed in bounds. Yep, at the 30-yard line. Thaddeus Dixon with a nice play to keep him in there. It's going to force a timeout from Dan Lanning.
And that's that. Jordan James got to know better than that. He's got to take that out of bounds. I mean, and that's what Dan Lanning's telling him. That's a waste of a timeout. Just run out of bounds. You're not going to get much more yards. He's trying to shake off tackles, but just run out of bounds.
Dan Lanning could sense the frustration from his star running back. We've seen both backs today. Whittington, who has provided a nice pop alongside Jordan James, not just tonight, but through the year. And again, this is what makes this Oregon offense so dangerous is the 2 running backs have played well. But Evan Stewart, who has had a massive season, especially since the Ohio State game, just 1 catch for 4 yards. Tez Johnson returns in this one, and we're still waiting to call his name. Trayshawn Holden had the 1 big catch, but Terrence Ferguson is a threat constantly in the passing game. Who do you take away for this Oregon offense?
And you got a quarterback that distributes the ball at like a 74% completion clip, too.
Came into the week 2nd in the country in completion percentage. There is Johnson in motion on 3rd down and 4. And Gabriel to the air. Steps up, delivers, complete over the middle to James. Clock will pause. We'll see if they spike it or they take their final timeout. Or they just let it rip. And that's what they'll do. Gabriel in the pocket. Gabriel hit as he let it release and out of bounds. It was Isaiah Ward who had that pressure on Gabriel.
It's just a 4-man rush. Isaiah Ward does a nice job beating the best lineman. I mean, that's Connerly, the left tackle, who has been playing at an elite level this year. And Isaiah Ward just kind of beat him to the quarterback.
No foul for intentional grounding. There was an eligible receiver in the area. 2nd down.
I'll say Terrence Ferguson was close enough to the throw. It stops the clock with 9 seconds left. And it's a free play. Gabriel looking to take his shot to the sideline. It's caught. Holden weaving his way out of bounds at the 38.
Got time for 1 more throw. If there's 1 second on the clock, you got a time to either try a very long field goal or throw 1 to the goal line, 1 to the end zone. That completion gave them that
Offside.
opportunity.
Defense, number 11. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
And you see Holden smartly got the ball out of bounds after the catch.
Timeout, Oregon. That's a final charge timeout and a half. It'll be a 30-second charge timeout.
So Oregon will take its final timeout anyway. 1 second remaining here. This play is going to be at the 39-yard line. And if they were to kick a field goal from here, that would be 57 yards.
Well, that looks like what they're going to do unless Dan's got a fake up his sleeve.
So Andrew Boyle is their long field goal kicker. Atticus Sappington's their normal kicker, but he doesn't kick them long. Boyle is the guy who does that. He's 2 for 3 on the season, including a 50-yarder against Michigan State. Transfer from Washington State. And let's see what he's got from 56 yards away. James will hold. Basso will snap it. And Boyle from 56 yards comes up short. Just not quite enough. Got him in position to attempt the long one and see just how close it was. Yeah. May have had it from about 52. Let's go down to Catherine.
Coach, obviously you're not going to be happy about the late scoring drive from Washington, but what did you like defensively from your group in the first half?
Well, creating a takeaway was huge there, and then be able to score off the takeaway was big. We've had good field position. We have to continue to maintain that.
How do you continue to maintain the pressure and the aggressive play we've seen from you so far?
We focus on the next play. That's how we do that. Continue to focus on the next play, and those plays will come.
Coach, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, Catherine, Dan Lanning and his team with a 2-score lead. Washington will get the football to start the third quarter. We'll check in with our crew back in the studio after these messages in this battle in the Pacific Northwest.
Let's go.
This first half recap is brought to you by Geico.
I'm on a mission now. No, you can't stop me now. I keep it coming now. No, you can't stop me now. I'm on a mission now. I'm on a mission now. I'm gonna crank it loud and keep it coming now. No, you can't stop me now. I'm on a mission now.
Get more with Geico. Time now for the Big Bulletin, brought to you by Genesis Motor America. 28-14 after 2 here from Autzen. Running backs have been awesome for Oregon. 3 combined touchdowns for these two. Also another rushing touchdown from Dylan Gabriel. So all 4 on the ground. Bryce Betcher, the local kid, on the senior night. Team high 7 tackles, 2 for loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. He has been ridiculously good through the first 2 quarters, and both quarterbacks efficient. 10 of 12 for Damon Williams in his first start of his college career. Dylan Gabriel 11 of 16. Williams really got the offense rolling a little bit towards the end of that first half, and will get the football to start this second half down by 2 scores.
Yeah, that was an important drive, an important score. I mean, they only had 152 yards of offense in that first half, and the Oregon defense, as we showed on that graphic, 4 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, but they're right back in the game thanks to that touchdown and 2-point conversion.
For Dylan Gabriel, he said this is a senior night that feels a lot more real for him than it did last year at Oklahoma when he did walk. This one just much more of a finale for his career. He knows that this is it. Obviously no more eligibility for him. There's a flag down here as Ngata will bring it across the 20 to the 25. Keep churning the legs all the way to the 31. And we'll wait for the penalty. And again, making sure that he can get the proper call here.
Offside, kicking team, number 75, 5-yard penalty be added on to the end of the run, first down.
Let's check in with KT.
Well, guys, I just spoke to Jedd Fisch, who had a huge smile on his face when I asked him about his freshman quarterback, Damon Williams' play. He said really outstanding. He's doing a good job possessing the ball and completing his passes. He told his group, you made this a 2-possession game to end the half. We get the ball to start the second. If we score, we're right back in this. That is the mentality that Washington has in this rivalry game, guys.
On KT, you can tell how much belief Jedd Fisch has in this quarterback. And again, I know Todd's talked about how great this defense is, but he's, for the most part, been mistake-free against this Oregon defense, as that's going to be a short pass to Latu for a couple.
Well, and look, this is not, the moment's not too big for him. You can see that. I mean, he doesn't have wide eyes. He looks comfortable. He looks under control. He's been accurate throwing the football. He's been dangerous running the football. And this is a great moment for him to make his first start. They have nothing to lose. They're already bowl eligible. So this game is just about playing and having fun and trying to win a rivalry game. That's what it is for Washington.
Play action on 2nd down and 8. Williams steps up, and an easy completion to Coleman for a first down. Betcher will make his 8th tackle of the game.
And again, little play action fake, max protection. Coleman slips out. And a nice easy throw for Demond Williams. 2 completions to start this 3rd quarter, both of them traveling a total of about 5 yards.
Look, anybody would say it's huge that Jonah Coleman has decided to come back from an on-field perspective. But what Jedd Fisch mentioned, his biggest contribution could be moving forward is leadership and culture building, as Williams will scamper forward for a couple.
Williams on the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting down, too, because Kobe Savage was coming with a whole lot of steam to make a collision. Watch the quarterback get down. Kobe Savage went right over the top of him. It looked like he was trying to take his head off.
Instead gains 5 and makes it 2nd and 5. Coleman split out wide at the top of your screen. Empty set. Williams feeling the pressure. And he's chased down by Burge. Has missed 4 of the last 6, but just added his 7th sack of the season.
Yeah, he's going to work on the right tackle here. He's just such a great power and speed rusher. Hard guy to block one-on-one. How's a party? Just no match for him. And a loss of yardage play.
And a big one at that. It was 2nd and 5, now turns into 3rd and 10.
5th sack of the ball game for this Oregon defense.
Adam Muhammad in there as the back. Converted 2 critical 3rd downs on the touchdown drive. Now Williams has to get away. And he's got some speed, and he's got space for the first down. Demond Williams Jr. showing off his God-given gifts.
The time now for the Walmart look from above. This is just not setting an edge on a quarterback with great speed. He gets outside, it's man coverage. That's why all those defenders are running with their back to the quarterback. And nobody seals him in. Uiagalelei was the guy on the end of the line there, but Williams showing that speed, and against man coverage, a lot of room to run on 3rd and 10.
They keep the other freshman Muhammad in the game on first down. They'll have the handoff up the middle, surging forward for 3. Uiagalelei just held on for dear life.
You know, I mentioned that Washington has nothing to lose in this game, right? They can be aggressive, they can be loose, they can be free. All the pressure's on the other side, is on Oregon. They're the ones with everything to play for at this point, everything that's still ahead of them. If Washington finds a way to get the ball in the end zone on this drive and make it a 1-score game, that turns the heat up a little bit on the Oregon Ducks.
They've lost 3 straight to the Huskies. Dan Lanning looking for his first win in this matchup. Williams under pressure, he goes down. Uiagalelei in pursuit the entire way.
Now this is one he's got to get rid of, though. He's got enough protection, and then it breaks down. You just can't hold the ball this long. Uiagalelei, hard to block him with a tight end. Latu, the tight end, number 85, is trying to block him. That's kind of a mismatch in favor of Uiagalelei, but that ball's got to get out of the hand quicker.
6 sacks for this Oregon defense. And now again, 3rd and long. Right on the edge of field goal range. Williams on the run. Williams, another one! Jordan Burge, 2nd of the drive for the stud.
Well, this is a bad job by the freshman back, Muhammad. He's got to go for the outside hip of Jordan Burch. They're going to sprint out to Burch's side, and the back has to hit him on the outside hip, not the inside. Because he hit him inside, Burch was able to pursue the quarterback and make the sack. They were counting on Williams to be able to get outside of Burch with the help of the block by the back. But Muhammad took a bad angle to the Burch.
7 sacks for Oregon. Now McAllister will to pin them deep. High up in the air. Bryant will let it sail into the end zone. Doesn't get the same fortunate bounce. A 46-yard punt will set up Oregon's offense with 9:21 in the third.
Back in Eugene, where Jordan Burch just recorded the 7th sack for the Oregon Ducks. I mentioned that freshman running back Adam Muhammad did a bad job. All he has to do is get on this side of Burch. He doesn't have to knock him down, doesn't have to really block him, just get on the outside, and then the speed of Williams will get to the corner. But because Muhammad went inside, Burch was able to pursue the quarterback and get the 7th sack of the ball game for this Oregon defense. Heck of a play by Burch, but could have been a better job by Adam Muhammad on the block.
So now Oregon's offense starts from the 20. It's a big run on first down. James stays on his feet and then keeps dragging tacklers across the 35. It'll be a 16-yard pickup and physical at that.
You know, the Oregon coaches say this guy practices like this every day. Runs violently, runs aggressively, every rep. And you can see, when you see offensive linemen peeling guys off at the end of the play, that means they love the guy they're blocking for. They appreciate the extra effort.
Looked like he was close to being down, but they do get the play off, and it'll be 2nd down and 8. 7 coming up.
This Oregon offense in the first half, over 250 yards of offense and very balanced. 16 runs, 16 passes. Really, they've just kind of stopped themselves. There's Will Stein, the young offensive coordinator. Took over for Kenny Dillingham when he became the head coach at Arizona State. And how about the job he's done with the Sun Devils?
Heading to the Big 12 championship game over there. The former squad, this Oregon team has already booked their ticket to the Big 10 championship. Another tough run up the middle by James as McKellar Steen brings him down. So 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 it'll be listed as coming up here for this Oregon offense. We talked about the struggles for the season that Washington has had defensively getting off the field on 3rd down. Oregon so far tonight just 2 for 4 on 3rd. The battle between those two, Steve Belichick defensively on one side, Will Stein offensively on the other, has been fun to watch so far. Tez Johnson still looking to get involved in motion. On 3rd down and 2, it's Gabriel. Looking to escape. Gabriel throws. It's caught. There's a flag is down. It's Johnson who makes the grab and flexes for the crowd. We await the call with 7:22 on the clock. Johnson, who's missed the last couple games with a shoulder injury. Dan Lanning called him a safety net for this offense.
Holding. Defense. Number 9. Penalties decline. Result of the play. First down.
Thaddeus Dixon, one of their corners. He's working on Holden. Holden. Yeah.
Don't you like it when things work out? So they'll get Whittington into the game now. Fresh set of downs inside the 40. And off for Whittington. Makes the cut. Whittington. Nice run across the 25, down to the 22.
Now, what a 1-2 punch by these two backs. We showed you their numbers after the first half, and they're picking up right where they left off. Good blocking. This is just outside zone, getting to the second level of the defense. And again, the struggles that Washington has had stopping the run against the better teams in the Big Ten. showing itself again in this one.
10 yards per carry on this drive. Stick with it. Whittington weaving through. Navigation. Whittington caught up by Esteen.
Washington trying to blitz this time, bring extra guys to the line of scrimmage. Just good patience by Whittington, and busted out the backside for a short gain.
Broke the tackle of Isaiah Ward. Washington playing without Zach Durfee and Russell Davis, the second in this game. Two high-impact players up front on this defense. Davis had 3 sacks in their previous game against UCLA. A tricky run by Whittington to set up 3rd and 2.
Back-to-back now, 3rd down situations, short yardage. The one before they threw had the penalty and also the completion to Tez Johnson. When you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, I mean, you can do just about anything you want.
The numbers right on par with what they've done through the season. 14th in the Big Ten heading into the week in rush yards allowed per game, and still only in this 3rd quarter, approaching 5 minutes to play, already at that season average. James back out there, 2 tight end look with Ferguson and Sadiq. And it Sadiq around the edge, and Sadiq shows off the athleticism to get the 1st down. Prysock was right there. He just needed to make one little hesitation to get enough.
Yeah, just barely got it. A little trick play. And Prysock really made a good play in space against a dangerous receiver. Able to get the 1st down, but a pretty good play out there by the corner as well.
Clock continues to tick here. They have been perfect, Oregon, in the red zone so far tonight. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns, all 4 coming on the ground. 2 from James, 1 from Whittington to start the day, 1 from Dillon Gabriel. And they get Terrence Ferguson back into the end zone. Play action, they do look for Ferguson. Makes one man miss. Oh, he got wrapped up by Tupatala initially, and just inside the 10, down to the 9.
Started him on one side, put him in motion, just tried to get him singled up, freed up. Pretty good discipline that time by Washington's defense.
But a big catch for Ferguson. The all-time record among tight ends in school history is now 1 touchdown away from tying the touchdown record in that same tight end category. Gabriel peeking at the defense with under 5. Now he'll throw to the end zone. It's Johnson open for the touchdown. Time for Tez, making his return on senior night with a bang.
Well, this was changed at the line of scrimmage. Will Stein changed the play when he saw the coverage. That's off man-to-man coverage. That's an easy play for Dillon Gabriel and Tez Johnson. Dyson McCutcheon, number 21, is off. Here's the change. He sees single coverage, but the problem is he's off in his coverage. He's not pressed. So right away, the receiver has leverage on the play, and that is an easy throw and catch for the touchdown. Dillon Gabriel to Tez Johnson.
George, Oregon's top 10 career touchdown receivers. His 9th of the season, despite missing the last couple of weeks. And you talked about he's missed a couple games. He's still been clear-cut their leading receiver in most categories. Sappington makes it 35-14. Gabriel's first passing touchdown here on senior night. It has been a connection that has been potent all season long. Dillon Gabriel lines it up. Johnson does the rest. And Oregon in complete control here at home. Big Ten Saturday Night is brought to you by Genesis Motor America. Learn more at genesis.com. And by Xfinity. Stream sports with Xfinity because it's only live once. Senior night here in Eugene. Dillon Gabriel getting a proper send-off. Didn't feel like he had that same level of finality last year at Oklahoma. This year, parents, grandparents, high school football coach all in attendance, and he said he was really going to try to soak up the moment as he really felt every feeling he could through this season and certainly here tonight.
You know, we've had 2 chances to sit down and visit with him. Don't you get the sense that as he's gotten older, he just has a sense of wanting to savor everything now? You know, the relationships, the friendships, the experiences, everything about doing what he's doing, he is taking it all in.
And God is going to take this from the 1. Looking for some space, can't find a whole lot of it as he gets spun down to the 25-yard line. 3:20 to play in this third quarter. Dillon Gabriel's Oregon Ducks in control, up 35-14. Monday and Tuesday, The Voice goes live, and your vote decides who will move on. The power's in your hands, America. The Voice, live Monday and Tuesday on NBC and Peacock. See how Snoop D-O-double-G continues in his first year as a coach. Look at the United Cam here in Autzen. No mercy, dubs down and thumbs down. We've seen Dan Lanning inspire his team in a variety of ways. Have you ever worn one of those big hats?
No.
Mike Loxley rocked that a couple years ago. It's an impressive look. So 3:20 to play in this third quarter. We'll see how Damon Williams and company can respond again. They've had a couple of nice responses already tonight. And that's a quick pass caught by Jeremiah Hunter as he gets leveled at the 35-yard line. They'll move the sticks to the 36.
Yeah, well, the good thing about that play, it came out of the hands of the quarterback quick as they start to go tempo now. Down 21. Again in the ball game now, 7 sacks for Oregon, 3 of them on that last drive.
That'll allow for the substitutions, and Oregon taking its time to do so. Play clock will be all the way down to 10, and they can finally run the play. And it's a handoff for Coleman. Stutter step move. Coleman gets tracked down. Tysheem Johnson.
This defense can really run. This is just good play by Johnson. Maintains leverage. And then just a good tackle. Don't try to take that guy on in his upper body. Too much strength. Go down low and get him to the ground.
The 12th tackle for loss from this Oregon defense here tonight. Coleman stays in on 2nd down and 11. Pressure coming off the edge. It's Brandon Johnson. Instead, it's the other side. Derek Harmon comes in and lays the boom.
Well, I mentioned this front. See, the problem is, who do you want to block one-on-one? This time, the right guard, Landon Hatchett, can't handle Derek Harmon. You can't block Jordan Birch one-on-one. You can't block Harmon one-on-one. You can't block Uiagalelei one-on-one. Or Jamari Caldwell. I mean, the strength of this defense is up front and their ability to change the line of scrimmage.
Uiagalelei told us this week they can all win those one-on-ones, and then their backups can win their one-on-ones. So pick your poison. 3rd and 17 for Williams. Let's add another. The sack party continues in Eugene. Jaden Moore says, I'll take one of those.
Just collapsing the pocket. Again, it's Harmon that's going to get the push first. And then we're just going to get somebody working, kind of just hanging, and then cleaning up at the end. But it was Harmon who forced the action, making the quarterback move up. Birch is there. Jaden Moore is there. 9 sacks now for the Oregon Ducks.
Get the punt away. See what McAllister can do with the ball as Bryant brings it in on the fair catch. at the 36-yard line. Well, week of Thanksgiving, weekend of Thanksgiving, what are the Ducks thankful for? Certainly their head coach. There were rumors this offseason he might be heading to Tuscaloosa. Instead, he stays. They're the last unbeaten team in the country. Transfer quarterbacks, last two waves here. They had Bo Nix for 2 years, now Dillon Gabriel. A stout defense, under 288 yards allowed per game, 7th lowest in FBS. And their new conference. They've clinched a Big Ten championship appearance in its first season of the new iteration of the Big Ten. Not to mention, they could be the first team ever in their first year in the Big Ten to be unbeaten and untied through the season. See Uiagalelei and his buddies up front who have had a day. 3 straight TFLs for the Oregon defense, and now sets up their offense with decent field position. And Gabriel had all day to throw and then just gets rid of it the last second, incomplete.
Yeah, probably just should have run that one instead of trying to throw it late. Probably had 5-6 yards. It was a 3-man rush, so he had plenty of time and just not able to find somebody early in the progression. You see his numbers, 14 of 20, 179 yards. They've done most of their damage running the football tonight. Haven't had to throw it a lot.
James the back on 2nd down and 10. Bounce it to the outside. Jordan James lowers the shoulder. Jordan James steam piling over Washington defenders. Jordan Shaw never had a chance as he gains 9. It'll bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter in Eugene. The #1 team of the country, the final undefeated team, up 35-14 as we go to the 4th. Well, just a huge shout out to our crew spending Thanksgiving here in Eugene. Video, audio, we've got cameras, EVS, SMT, our production side, everybody in between, of course, the engineering and graphics. It has been a wonderful weekend, a wonderful season here this year, Big Ten Saturday night, and our at-home production to round out the crew. A shout out to Craig Van Meter, Rachel Scott Cardillo, for helping set everything up, wrangling us all together. And our camera, I mean, this is a weather game, so to speak. We've had a couple of them down the stretch this season. Guys, we appreciate you every week making the effort and putting yourself in the elements, spending the holiday here with us. We appreciate everybody's family as well back home for lending everybody's services and time each week of the season. The culmination here in Eugene. And a 3rd down and 2, a 1st down run for James.
Up over 160 yards rushing now for the Ducks with a whole quarter left to play.
James already with his 3rd multi-touchdown game of the season to go up of 98 yards on 15 carries. Whittington has come in with 7 carries, 57 yards on the touchdown. Gabriel with a rushing and passing touchdown as well. That's the 27th time he's done that in his illustrious career as Whittington finds the open space for 5. It's an Oregon team that has just been so complete. It's almost hard to fathom it's been the same season as the way it started for them, with those first 2 weeks that were struggles out of the gate here at home against Idaho. They had to fight their way to victory. Then Boise State. Another completion for Gabriel in stride. It's going to go to Whittington as a pile drives forward. We go to KT.
Well, guys, the reason for the Ducks' continued team success this season is their trust in one another. Dillon Gabriel told me since January, we've done a bunch of mixed teams. I've probably worked with every combination you put together of running backs, O-linemen, receivers, tight ends. It forced older guys to lead, younger guys to line up and get ready faster. He goes, I've gotten reps with guys that may not have even played this year, but if they're called upon, we trust and we believe in them.
Yeah, and the main reason for that is the way Derek Harmon described it to us was, if you know your brother's why, if you know the person's next to you why, it makes it a little bit easier to strain a little bit extra for them, to block a little bit longer for them, do all the little things that add up to team success.
Well, and that's very important for Dan Lanning, because connection is their #1 thing with this team.
Gabriel up the middle, and he gets kind of twisted up for the first down.
And they brought a lot of guys, significant guys in from the transfer portal. Gabriel, one of them. Guys who've only been together for 6 months, and yet they play like a very cohesive unit.
Wasn't thrilled with that hit from Mikel Esteen. Dillon Gabriel's never played in this rivalry before. He's played in a couple other ones, but he did mention the excitement he had and how much he wanted to win this for all the guys who hadn't won the last 2 years. You can see that in the way that he's played. He's brought that fire again today. Gabriel, incomplete. That's a dangerous pass, and there is the flag. Esteen, who laid the hit on Gabriel on the last play, this time is going to lay out Evan Stewart. So we'll see if they rule Stewart as defenseless here. There's the ball. There's the hit. Doesn't lead with the crown necessarily.
Personal foul. Targeting.
Ooh.
Defense. Number 24.
Well, they'll take a look at this, won't they, Terry?
Yeah, this is not targeting.
His face is up, right?
Yeah, it is, and the force is to the shoulder. The head and neck is protected, but as we can see, the force is going to be right to the shoulder. Hardly any contact to the head and neck area. This should get reversed very quickly.
So we'll see what it looks like on the review. How long they do take on said review. 12:25 to play here in Eugene. Just to go back to that team, we'll step aside and then we'll get back to that conversation. Just under 13 to play with Oregon in front. Critics are calling St. Denis Medical America's new favorite comedy. Don't miss a new episode of the hit show St. Denis Medical, Tuesday on NBC and Peacock. Well, the targeting call on Mikel Esteen was reversed. Take another look. As Terry said, the crown was not what was used on the force of the hit, and it went to the shoulder of Stewart. So that quick reversal did come. Incomplete pass, second down and 10. So to go back to the team building aspect of what Oregon has gone through, the way that Dan Lanning described it is a challenge, especially now, to find a bunch of guys who all have a chip on their shoulder, but also care for the team over individual. And he feels like that's the group he has really in all three facets of the game this season. As Gabriel off play action. Oh, a bullet to the end zone for the touchdown. Terrence Ferguson. Beautiful ball, beautiful catch to tie the record.
Coming out of the timeout, they had this one dialed up. These two guys are on such a great same page. I mean, they're great friends. Their fiancés are very good friends, and you can just tell the chemistry they have. Terrence Ferguson, one of those veteran guys that this game and this rivalry meant a lot to.
Yep. He didn't mince any words himself. He talked about how much he wanted to beat Washington coming back this year. He was a red zone monster last year with 11 red zone receptions, #1 amongst tight ends. Now Andrew Boyle will put the extra point through to make it 42-14.
Well, it's a bootleg action, so the fake is going to go to the right. Here's Ferguson here. The action is going to start this way, and then Gabriel is going to come out. So watch the hesitation by Ferguson. He doesn't come flying off the ball. Slow, 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 and then he works to the back, and that timed out with his quarterback. Because he didn't rush it, they were in perfect sync, and they hit the touchdown.
Let's send it down to Catherine.
Well, guys, I talked to Terrence Ferguson just this week about his record-breaking season. He said, you know, I've looked back at my time here, and it's just flown by. I'm so blessed. I don't try to look at the records. We have young guys that I think are way better than I am, and they're going to be better than me when their time is up. And I just hope someone else comes around and breaks my records. And that's the perspective that he has. That is the team mentality we have from this whole group. You guys talk about the connections and the connection between Ferguson and Dillon, and just the perspective they have to win every single week, guys.
The funny thing with Ferguson is he's had all these touchdowns in his career. That's his second now touchdown of the season. Well, the second in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It took him until a couple weeks ago to get one. And that same game, there was an offensive lineman who scored a touchdown. When we asked him about that, he was like, yeah, there was a chat in the tight end room, almost a joke of, oh, wait, there might be a big man touchdown before we get one of them. And it got real close, real dicey there. But sure enough, Ferguson with the score, and Oregon pouring it on now against their rival. And Ngata spinning his way to the 30 and keeping the legs churning across to the 32 as we check in with Jordan Cornette.
Texas looking to build, leading 17-0 over the Aggies on the road. And Quinn Ewers, it's tipped, it's picked. Will Lee the third goes 93 yards. A hold penalty on the Horns would be declined. Aggies with a pulse, trailing 17-7 now, Noah.
Yeah, that changes things a little bit. Let's not forget, at College Station as well. That is a really difficult place to play, as is this. And we've seen that Oregon has been dominant at Autzen Stadium over the last couple of seasons. In fact, the only team that has beaten them over the last few years has been Washington. They won 37 of 38 in this building, and they're going to add another one. It's a sack attack in Eugene. Tatum Tuioti.
Well, Tuioti's going to go on an inside move, but he doesn't give up on the play. This is that relentless effort. Watch, he takes an inside rush. Williams goes outside, but he doesn't give up on the play and is able to track him down. Nobody open, receivers running into each other, nowhere to go for Damon Williams, and another sack, the 10th of the ball game for this Duck defense.
Ties the single game score record. They did it in 2004 at Stanford. Williams around the edge, spilled forward, maybe gets a yard past that original line of scrimmage. Cam Alexander chops him down. Well, for Damon Williams, he's had some bright moments, 13 of 15, but Dan Lanning knew that it was going to be a challenge going against this young and talented quarterback. He knew that his team was going to be motivated. Will Rogers has been allegedly and apparently nothing but fantastic for Damon Williams, both through the season and even in this past week as they battled to start this game. And we'll see if the freshman has some more magic up his sleeve on a 3rd and 9. Muhammad in there, Jackson in motion. Williams to Jackson, but well short and well covered.
Well, if you don't need to know anything else numbers-wise about this game than this. Oregon, their sacks have accounted for 49 yards of loss, and Washington running the football only 30 yards gained. So, I mean, it's just the inability to protect the quarterback. Even a guy as elusive as Damon Williams is, just hard to do much. I mean, Williams is 14 of 16 throwing the ball, but he's been sacked 10 times.
McAllister another punt. Tez Johnson was the normal punt returner for most of the season before the injury. He's going to have a chance here, and he'll just move out of bounds after about a 5-yard return. So Damon Williams coaching up on the sideline. Dillon Gabriel and company back next. Tomorrow in the Premier League, reigning champions Manchester City face Liverpool. Coverage begins tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern on USA. Nice look at the soccer field here. Another one across the way from Autzen. Aerial coverage brought to you by the Lincoln Wishlist sales event. So we were wondering, how much longer will Dillon Gabriel be in the game for? We have our answer. No more time. Dante Moore into the game now for Oregon.
And because Dante Moore has not played very much, he's able to play here at the end of the year and still maintain that redshirt year.
And Tez Johnson just showcasing everything that he is capable of doing with the ball in his hands. You saw what he did mostly last year at UCLA. 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He was 3-2 as a starter. Highly touted recruit. Another highly touted recruit sitting behind Dillon Gabriel for a year.
Yeah, and kind of interesting. In the age of the transfer portal, a quarterback typically is leaving to go somewhere where he can play right away. Dante Moore left a place where he could have played to go to a place that has a better chance of winning championships, knowing he was going to sit behind Dillon Gabriel this year.
Nice run by the freshman Riggs. There is Gabriel. They are roommates, and so Moore really gets to see everything that Dylan does. And Dylan said he's respectful at the same time, where if Dylan needs to take time, be quiet, study, he leaves him alone.
Yeah. And he's prepared every week as if he's a starter, which you want your backup to do, but it's not always the case. A guy doesn't always do that, especially if he's not expecting to play.
With the throw again to the outside, it is caught. Brought in by McClellan. Time now for the target QB comparison. So you've got a freshman on one side, another highly talented recruit. 14 of 16 for Damon Williams in his first start, 142 yards in the air, only 11 on the ground.
Well,
and you see
0 sacks and 10 sacks. That's,
might as
that's
well
the
add
other
it.
difference of the stat line.
You said it. It has just changed the chemistry of this game. And that front for Oregon has been such a difficult guard for anybody through the year. Showcased again here tonight. Another quick completion to the outside, and Kenyon Sadiq lowers the shoulder for a couple extra at the end.
Well, you can see the skill set of Dante Moore. Quick release, accurate. 3 for 3 now.
One thing Dylan Gabriel said to us when we asked about him was it's sometimes so hard for these kids who are 5-star recruits because they've had so much attention on them for such a young age, and the expectation is that you're going to go in and you're going to be a major factor or you're going to be a superstar right away. This doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you need the time to develop in the shadows, and that's what Moore has really taken this season under Dan Lanning, learning under Will Stein, and certainly learning behind Gabriel himself. Good clean pocket here, and that is a beautiful ball just dropped. Holden had it in the right spot. It was a tough catch to make, but a flag is down.
Holding, defense, number 7. 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage, automatic. First down.
He's showing off now, Todd.
Yeah. Well, there's the hold on Prysock.
Look at Jerry McGinn. Ready for his spotlight moment. Another run. Riggs over the top and a flag down. Are we going to get another exciting announcement? Past the midway point of this fourth quarter. Impressive reps from Moore and company. That was actually the plan for Damon Williams this year. He wasn't necessarily supposed to start any games coming into the season. Jedd Fisch said, okay, maybe get him 10 to 15 snaps a game. You get 180 snaps by the end of the season, and you're in good shape.
Personal foul, illegal low block, defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty added on an end of the run. Automatic, first down.
So they called on for Biculantin. Let's take a look to see if that's who was actually on. And you can see Cam Fab. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, there it is right there. Kamari House, the freshman.
Couple of mistakes from House today, but Jedd Fisch called him one of those program building blocks moving forward. House, along with Damon Williams and Adam Muhammad, Decker DeGraff, Peyton Waters. The guys they believe are going to set the foundation for what this is going to look like. And when they start plugging some of the holes, again, this is a roster that had major turnover from last season. Riggs, tough running. Gabriel helmet now off, day done. A Washington defense that held UCLA to just 52 rushing yards in their last game, a season low for a Washington opponent. 1.6 yards per carry. It has been a different story here tonight.
Yeah, Oregon about to become the third team that's run for over 200 yards against this team, joining Iowa and Penn State.
Weak in motion, handoff up the middle, and Riggs will keep pushing. It'll be 1st and goal.
This Oregon team with moving under 6 minutes left in the game will begin to set its sights on Indianapolis and Penn State, a team that is also playing excellent football right now. Down the stretch, Penn State defensively very aggressive, very similar to this defensive football team and how aggressive they are, how they can rush the passer. Offensively, Drew Aller playing really
Into the
well.
play. Personal foul. Offense. Number 76. Unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's Josh Connolly.
On Fabiculanen right there. First grabbed at the arm and then took a swipe towards
It
the
was
face.
a dead ball foul. It'll be a 1st down. 1st and 15. 1st and 10. After the 15-yard penalty.
Well, seems a little petty to me, actually,
But anyway, to your point, Penn State, the other thing that feels interesting, the only difference between Penn State and Oregon is the one loss for the Nittany Lions. But similarly to Oregon, they've had to claw their way through a couple of those wins. At USC last week against Minnesota, games where they needed to find a way when they weren't playing at their top level.
Yep, and it'll be interesting to see the plan that Dan Lanning, Tosh Lupoi come up with to deal with Tyler Warren, who's one of the most unique players in college football.
Run, Riggs to the outside, diving, he's short. Thaddeus Dixon just does enough to keep him out of the end zone.
Check out the end of this play. Dixon there. Prysock coming over to try to help.
Defense. Number 9.
Dixon was a little slow to get up initially and goes over to the sideline. That'll be 1st and goal for Dante Moore's Oregon offense. Another extended drive. This will be the 9th play. That opening drive went 9 plays for Oregon down the field before the Whittington touchdown. Now 224 rush yards. It's Riggs again, and this time he's in. Touchdown Ducks. First career touchdown for Dewan Riggs.
A great double team by the center, Poncho, the left guard, Nishad Strother. Just ran right behind these two guys right here. Watch the double team. On number 50, Sebastian Valdez. Back cuts right inside, and another power touchdown for the Oregon offense.
This is what Dan Lanning loves about this team. When guys who don't normally get opportunities or touches in those situations find those opportunities, the rest of the team always seems to respond in the right way, in the positive way. This is an extra point from Hirsch that goes through. Everybody getting involved on senior night. Oregon rolling. The Oregon Duck, legendary, certainly in these parts. The push-up counters at 196 here tonight. That chest is going to be feeling it the next day. Take a look at the college football playoff. This was entering the week where the rankings were Oregon at number 1, Ohio State was number 2, but Texas, Miami, Boise State, Arizona State were all the conference leaders. The top 4 would get byes. A lot has changed, especially considering Miami lost at Syracuse and, of course, Ohio State losing at home to Michigan. Things are going to change heading into this week. Clemson lost at South Carolina. They were the first team out, so to speak, at 12th in the rankings. Alabama did win in the Iron Bowl 28-14, but a lot still TBD as we head into the conference championship week.
Love rivalry week. How about that game last night between Georgia and Georgia Tech? That was
8 overtimes.
Unbelievable.
And here's a contentious moment. We saw a lot of that in Columbus earlier today. And in Athens yesterday. There have been some great games through the weekend. And we'll see how it all leads into the conference championship. It was always a big deal to win your conference championship game, obviously, and especially if you were in the hunt for the college football playoff the last couple of years. But just given the new format, the fact that you can get a bye with that win, it just feels like they're going to mean a little bit extra for some of these teams, especially those like a Boise State and Arizona State, as Coleman stays in there along with Williams as we send it down to KT.
Well, Terrence Ferguson told me that playing in the Big Ten Championship was something Oregon expected, not in an arrogant way, he said, but in a confident way. He said Coach Lanning preached that we're going to switch up the power dynamic. We knew that from day one. That was our goal, to impose our will and have the Big Ten remember us and set the standard for years to come that we are a part of this conference. I think they've done that, guys.
Yeah, KT, the other thing that they really wanted to do was prove how physical they've been for years. They feel like they've almost been devalued in that category. And to your point, Todd, this defense that today especially showcased how physical they've been all season. As Williams backwards pass, that was really impressive to avoid the fumble by Jonah Coleman.
Yeah, I think their physicality is legit. I mean, they are a tough, physical team that flies around. They play with great effort. They got a couple guys back that had been out. Jordan Birch on defense, Tez Johnson on offense. They're still waiting to get their starting right guard, Marcus Harper, back potentially for next week.
Another 3rd and long. Washington 4 for 11 tonight on 3rd down. Williams quickly to Muhammad on the outside. And he'll get free, but not for enough. It'll be 4th and 1.
Oregon not only going for a Big Ten championship, I mean, obviously their goal, their ultimate goal, a national championship, trying to win the first national championship in school history, become the first-time program winning a national championship since Florida did it in 1996.
Which that was crazy when I saw that stat. It's been that long since we've had a first-time champion.
Yep.
Got close 2010, 2014, played for an undefeated season in 2010 as they'll go for it. Washington will on 4th down and get it with Muhammad on the outside.
You know, for Washington, I think it's important to note and interesting to note for Jedd Fisch, they're bowl eligible. That happened last week against UCLA. What does that mean? That means 15 more days of practice for Jedd Fisch and his staff and a lot of these young players. 15 more days of camaraderie and guys being in the locker room together. The early signing period happens soon. The transfer portal opens soon. And it's a good way to kind of keep your pulse, your finger on the pulse of your team and your roster as you go through these next couple of weeks.
You said it's huge, and if you don't get those 15 practices, it feels like you're constantly playing catch-up the next season. It'll be the final play before the 2-minute timeout. It's going to be a run to Muhammad up the middle across the 35-yard line to the 34.5. We've got 2 minutes remaining on senior night at Autzen Stadium. Oregon looking to exercise demons against Washington. Put an end to a 3-game losing skid in this series on Big Ten Saturday night. Two minutes of play in Eugene. The crowd has gotten into it. We saw a shout, as usual, going into the 4th quarter. Some Sweet Caroline with 2 minutes remaining as the crowd's begun to shuffle out just a tad. Demond Williams and company will look to finish this drive. It's a 2nd down and 4. Williams gets away. Nice evasive play by Williams as he gets slid out of bounds.
There's no question that Demond Williams has a bright future with Jedd Fisch in Washington. He has shown some talent tonight. I mean, clearly up against the best team in the country. And he is but he's put up good numbers other than the sacks, which some are on him, some are on the line.
That one gets batted down. Oregon, one of the best in the country at batting passes at the line. I also got to give Damon Williams credit. He's an Arizona kid going short sleeves in this weather. Football guy. Minute 50 left here. Oregon, the 3 crushing losses the last 2 years. You see the 17 batted passes at the line, second most among Power 4 teams. The 3 crushing losses over the last 2 seasons to this Washington program, all by 3 points. And we're a minute 50 away from completing a perfect regular season. Williams lets it fly, open for the touchdown. Giles Jackson put it in the bucket for the score.
This is really well executed. They're going to roll the quarterback outright, and Giles Jackson is starting right here, and he's going to work all his way to the back of the end zone. That's where he was looking all the way, but the action away left single coverage. Yes, there's backups in the game defensively for Oregon, but this is a pretty play executed to perfection by the freshman quarterback, Damon Williams.
4th passing touchdown for Williams. 3rd receiving touchdown on the season for Giles Jackson. And Gross's extra point makes it 49-21 with a minute 43 to play on Big Ten Saturday night. Well, last 3 games between these teams have been tightly contested. November 2022, number 25 Washington against number 6 Oregon. In this building, it was a field goal to win it. Then last season, first one, a missed field goal at the end that could have tied it. This was the Pac-12 championship. Penix with a late touchdown. Washington won by 3 in all 3 of those games. Dan Lanning, he's done a lot in his first 3 seasons here, but the one thing he just hadn't been able to solve coming into the night, beat this team.
Yep. Well, he can check that box now, and now he sets his sights on a couple championship opportunities. He was part of an Alabama national championship as a GA in 2015. Defensive coordinator at Georgia, part of a championship in 2021. And now has his team ranked number 1 heading to the college football playoff and the Big Ten championship next week.
Don't miss the 2025 Navy All-American Bowl, January 11th on NBC and Peacock. A couple players in this game that were All-American Bowl alums. Mateo Uyunglele being one of them. Jordan James, Damon Williams, Josh Connerly, all played. A lot of talent every year in that game. And we'll have all the action, again, January 11th on NBC and Peacock. For Washington, Damon Williams did plenty of good. 17 of 20, 201 yards, a touchdown. Ran the ball 22 times. A lot of those came with sacks as Dante Moore kneels this one down, and it will set up the Big Ten Championship December 7th from Indy. First meeting since the '95 Rose Bowl between Penn State and Oregon.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's a good matchup. 2 teams playing really good football right now. That thing at the bottom is very important. The winner of that game will receive a first-round bye in the college football playoff, a chance to get an extra rest, 1 less game. The consolation prize, which isn't horrible, is whoever loses that game will host a first-round playoff game, which is one of the new things this year with the 12 teams, which I think is going to be awesome, having home playoff games in that first round. But the bye is better.
That game will be on CBS next weekend. Dylan Gabriel said he was going to savor this year's senior day and senior night festivities a lot more than he did last year at Oklahoma. This is going to be a memorable one for him to lead his Ducks to a perfect regular season. We'll get one final kneel down from Dante Moore. And that'll do it. 12 games, 12 wins for Dan Lanning, and one final checklist item taken off the list. They beat Washington for the first time in the Lanning era and their first undefeated regular season since 2010. The Ducks win it 49-21. Let's send it down to KT.
Coach, your first win in this rivalry to finish the season undefeated. How sweet is this?
Feels good. Feels good. I'm really proud of our players. We talked about playing a complete game. I think you saw that until the very last drive at the end.
Senior night, and your guys delivered. Gabriel, Ferguson, Birch, Betcher, the list goes on and on and on. What can you say about the senior class you have assembled this year?
They play hard for each other, man. They love each other. There's a special connection in that locker room and in that building right there that makes these moments really special.
Big Ten championship on deck against Penn State next weekend. What excites you most about the opportunity to play for that game?
The opportunity. You just said it. The opportunity to do something special, right? First year in the conference, to get an opportunity to play in a game like that against a great team.
Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Go Ducks.
All right, KT, Dan Lanning has done it. A perfect regular season, the only team in all of FBS to do that. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your local news. Tomorrow night, it could be a snowy night in Buffalo for the 49ers and the Bills on Sunday Night Football. A big win for Oregon, 12-0 regular season for the Ducks. They will be #1 in the country heading into the Big Ten championship in their first year in the conference next week. For Catherine Tappan, Tom Blackledge, Terry McCauley, Matthew Marvin, Charlie Dammeyer, our entire NBC Sports crew, we appreciate you for joining us all season long, saying so long from Eugene.